The following program is rated podcast MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Something happens at about 32 miles an hour. Thunderheaders drowned out all sound. Engine vibration travels at a heart's rate. Field of vision funnels into the immediate, and suddenly, you're not on the road, you're in it. Part of it. Traffic scenery, cops, just cardboard cutouts blown over as you pass. Sometimes I forget the rush of that. That's why I love these long runs. All of your problems, the noise, gone. Nothing else to worry about except what's right in front of you. Maybe that's the lesson for me today, to hold on to these simple moments, appreciate them a little more. There's not many of them left. I don't ever want any of that for you. Finding things that make you happy shouldn't be so hard. I know you'll face pain, suffering, hard choices, but you can't let the weight of it choke the joy out of your life. No matter what, you have to find the things that you love. Run to them. There's an old saying, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But I don't believe that. I think that things that try to kill you make you angry and sad. Strength comes from the good things, your family, your friends, and the satisfaction of hard work. Those are the things that will keep you whole. Those are the things you hold on to when you're broken.
Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. And now, straight from the Law Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listen to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
Hola, papi. Ven y escucha otro episodio del Lab.
Oh yeah, feel it. You feel it, Lurch?
I feel it in my nether region.
Oscar, you feeling it?
I feel it in my nether region.
Welcome back, Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle and majority. That's right, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Know that. This is also a special episode for you freaky, deaky Sons of Anarchy watchers, you fans. That's right, damn proud of it. I'm a freaky, deaky Sons of Anarchy watcher too. How about you, Lurch?
Oh, I love it.
Oscar?
Part of the Colt Sutter group.
Freaks. I gotta ask you, Bikeaholics, what the hell are you waiting for? Mount up already. Let us take you on a ride. Oh yeah, back in the studio, guys. Of course, as usual, we got a loaded ass episode for you. Sons of Anarchy. It's going to be season 7. This will be episodes 3 and 4. Lurch, say hi to the audience.
This podcast is loaded like Oscar's diapers.
It's going to have some explicit material like usual. Yep, just like the opening statement there from Lurch.
I don't get a rebuttal to that.
You can rebut anytime you want. Go ahead.
I do wear diapers.
Well, there you go. Which is why he's known as Oscar. Right. Okay. We're going to first go over episode 3, okay, which aired September 23rd of 2014, and then we'll get into episode 4, okay? So let's do episode 3 first. There's a lot to talk about. This is loaded. We're not going to have a long monologue here at the beginning. Let's just get right into it. We've got a voicemail, and let me go ahead and pull that voicemail up real quick from one of our loyal listeners.
Oh, so, Larry Beans Baxter.
There you go.
Of Homer, Alaska.
We love Larry.
Hey guys, Larry Beans Baxter from Alaska. You guys called me out for some Sons of Anarchy predictions. I got some for you. By the end of this season, I think Jim will be dead, Nero will be dead. Jax, I don't think he's going to die or go to prison, but he is going to lose his club and his family. Wendy's going to get the kids. Bobby is going to resume his Elvis impersonation career, and he's going to move to Las Vegas with Skankenstein. And at the very last scene of the very last episode is going to be Tig and Venus riding off into the sunset together. All right, guys, keep up the great work.
There you go. Thanks, Larry, so much.
Yeah,
that's
thanks for
Larry
taking time to
Baxter.
send that.
Appreciate it. And if you guys want to leave us, we really want to know your predictions and what you think's going on in the season. And you can go to lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail, or you can go call our listener hotline 509-731-3548. All right, what do you guys say about Larry's voicemail there?
Who
He
called?
thinks Nero's going to die. I don't think Nero can die. Come on, Larry.
We need to
Nero's
address.
an OG. I don't know.
He's an OG.
He's survived this long. It'd be a shame for him to die.
Who
at the
called
end.
Tig and Venus originally? Was that you?
I
Lurch?
threw in Tig and Venus, yeah. They're going to fall madly in love. I like the Bobby and Skankenstein, though. That's good.
That's a good
Which
call,
one was
Larry.
Skankenstein? Remind me.
She was the one on the when they did the first filming there in the Redwoody Productions porn studio.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one laying on the bed with the electricity hooked up to her nips, and she's getting electrocuted. And the gal that was working on her said, "Skankenstein lives."
That's right, dude. That's right.
Good
it was
call, Larry.
It was Opie's old lady was right there. Wasn't
Yeah,
she directing?
She
or
was
something?
directing. She
Lila.
was directing. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me.
Directing with her mouth.
Lila. There's something.
Oh.
There was something in the original. I think it was either the first episode or second episode. You guys were talking about it, and it popped in my head because I was not on the episode, but I listened to them. I like listening to things, especially when I'm not on them. And there's one thing that you guys didn't cover that I remember is when they're moving into that studio down on the docks where they where they took over and went in and shot those dudes up. And Lila was in there.
Oh, right.
That cage, remember? Lila was in the cage, and they were torturing her or whatever.
Yes.
Remember? I don't know if you remember, but she walks in that studio when they're getting ready to set it up, and she kind of looks at that cage and has a moment. She's like, "Ooh, cage."
Good call, dude. Good call. So, rightfully titled this one, Playing with Monsters, which I think kind of makes sense as we go along here. So, anything else about Larry's predictions? You guys can also comment on the episode. You can go to lawabidingbiker.com. This will be lawabidingbiker.com/SOA10. That'll give you all the show notes, any links we talked about, and also you can comment right on the website there. So go ahead, Lurch.
Oh, I think he's right on.
Is Nero going to die? Just say yes or no.
Oh, do I think no?
Okay. All right. Sorry,
No,
Larry.
Nero's not going to die. Sorry,
Larry disagrees. He's going to be right, and then he can send poop in the mail or something.
A flaming bag of
Flaming
poo.
bag of poo.
Do you ship that next day air?
Oh, you'd have to.
Yeah, you probably. So the flame would
The
stay
flame
alive.
would burn out if you
Right.
didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He agrees with me that Venus and Tig will ride off into the sunset.
I don't know how you guys came up with that.
I'm really looking forward
I
to
agree.
that character.
I don't. wait,
Venus, just because I like the actor Walter Goggins.
Hey, guess what,
he's a
Oscar?
Great actor.
Venus has a penis. Oh, God.
and when
Oh,
they
God.
say ride off into the sunset,
Dude, I get one
Right.
for that. Come on.
that's dual
Hey,
meaning.
listen,
Venus has a penis.
Tiggy had Rat's face shoved down in his junk and was enjoying it just a little bit too much. I'm
Yes,
telling you,
he
he's got a
was.
thing for Venus.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Tig's a freak a leak.
just
Go
weird.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's weird.
All right.
Larry
so,
and Lurch are weird.
all right. So thank you again, Larry. And please hit us up, guys. All right. We already talked about the Skankenstein. They
Oh,
were
that's awesome.
Redwoody porn studio doing their little,
Alive.
their,
Skankenstein instead of Frankenstein, doing a little play on words there. Yeah.
like their B-roll porn
Yeah.
there or whatever.
And the guys were all excited about that scene.
They're all
too.
sitting around
Yeah,
like,
loving
taking
it.
it serious.
Yeah.
Executive
was
producers.
there clapping? I think there was clapping.
There was some clapping
Yeah,
at the
there was
end. They were
clapping.
all emotional about their first
Film.
recording, their first film recorded in their new studio,
Mhm.
which they hijacked, by the way. If you remember last episode, killed all them dudes, and he drowned that one dude in a toe of piss.
So we get through that scene, and then Juice and Unser are talking. You remember this, Oscar? Unser tells him that he wants to help him. So he tells Juice straight up, he wants to, right?
After
Yeah.
cut him loose, and they're sitting there talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Didn't they make some kind of deal too? Like, oh, I'll help you, but I need a favor too.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Yep. Oh, and Unser,
See, this is important.
right? He admits to Juice that he's working with Sheriff Jerry.
right.
But hey,
Jerry.
but that's about terror. It's something I don't, I need to do. And Juice seems to be okay with it.
Yeah, well,
He
he
didn't-
doesn't want to. He knows.
Right. Well,
Yeah, he
Unser's
knows
the only
what's
one that'll
coming.
help him.
Right.
And Gemma. So, All right, so Juice asks Unser for a big favor, and this is what I'm talking about, that dual favor. Unser says, I'm going to need a big favor basically for helping him. Juice says, I'm going to need a big favor too, which we'll find out a little bit later comes into play. All right, pick up Gemma and Nero sitting down talking there. What do we know about this?
Oh, Nero's boxing his stuff up.
Now, is he moving? I was trying to figure this out. Is he
Where
moving
was
out
he
of Diosa?
going?
I never figured it out.
Yeah, because he said, didn't he say he was going to Stockton?
I'm sure there's listeners out here going, you're the biggest idiot in the world, because I could not put this in perspective, and thank you that you couldn't either.
But Jax tells Nero that he's going to run Stockton.
Right. So is he moving to Stockton? Is he moving out of Diosa? Is that the key? Because Kurt Sutter did not make that very clear in the writing of this.
Who was going to take Diosa and who was going to take Red Woody?
Nero was supposed to take Diosa. Jax said he'll take the porn studio.
Well, Nero lives at Diosa, so I don't know
But he
why.
was boxing his crap up.
Yeah, weird. I don't know.
But I didn't get he was boxing. I thought he was like moving an office.
Okay, I don't know. That's the problem with this whole thing.
It might have been unrelated.
No, because I think Gemma comes in and says she's going to miss him or something.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so he's moving. I'm telling you, he's moving out of there. And I don't know if he's going to Stockton. I guess we're going to find out. And maybe we'll find out in episode 4. But he is boxing stuff up. And of course, Gemma's worried about all that's going down. He assures her it's all going to be fine. The streets are a little complicated, he says.
A little complicated
In
right now.
true Nero fashion.
Oh, yeah. Streets are a little complicated, Gemma. So Jax, Bobby, and Chibs meet with the Triad guy. Now, this was a new Triad. That's the Chinese mafia, to put it in perspective for everybody. This was not Henry. This was another Triad guy, Asian guy. Did you guys recognize him?
No.
Did you?
I didn't. That's why I'm just calling him Triad guy at this point, because I don't know exactly who he is. But he says, they tell him, and he's sitting down with Jax and all this, because the Triads are obviously, they're suspicious of Sons for taking it down, right?
Right.
So he's sitting with this new Triad, and I just want to put this in perspective again.
Is it a Triad or is it one of Henry's guys?
Well, that's the Triad.
Well, they're not the same.
Well, they are the same.
They are and they aren't.
I did look it up. They're all Asian. That's what they call them. The mafia.
Yeah.
Right. The mafia, the Asian mafia, they are the Triads.
But see, I thought Henry Lim was his own deal, and he was using the Triads.
He's part of the Triads.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. And when they took those gun downs, that's what the whole deal. The Triads trade guns for heroin. That's what they're the Triads.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
So there's a new Triad guy in there, and he wants to know. Now, remember the Indian Hills muscle guys? Remember those two guys that got killed? They were the muscle, which we're going to get into. We have some good insight, hopefully, on that. Now, Jax tells him that they found one guy dead. All right. Because remember, in the house, they
tell Jax they found one guy dead.
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
And Bobby calls, remember, and tells the Triads, we found your guys. We found out who took your. Okay. So now they're following up on this to keep it in perspective for everybody.
Right.
And that's what Jax, and that's when the Triad guy, this Asian guy, says, "Oh yeah, they found one guy dead, shotgun blast to the chest or whatever."
Yeah. And there's blood and footprints.
And
all
remember,
over the
there was
place.
2 of them.
Yeah, there was 2.
And so Jax, you can see he looks
And Bobby, they're all both looking at you like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
like this is weird." So he tells Jax they found the dead guy. Obviously, Officer Oscar, I want to give you credit. You called it when the jury, who's the president of the Indian Hills Sons of Anarchy chapter, he found the dead guys. You did call it last. I don't know if you remember, but you said, "Oh, he's going to screw the scene all up, or he's going to move the scene."
Yeah, and he did.
When he found the 2, he did.
Yeah.
So we give Oscar 1 for that.
Finally, I get one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's all you're getting.
Job well done, sir."
I get it.
Don't go home. You ain't getting any there. All right. So remember, he saw the shotgun. Remember when he picked that guy up and he was crying over him and he saw the shotgun? We're just bringing it back in. So he knows he's got that shotgun still. Obviously, we'll find out a little bit later, but he remembers that it was used to take down Henry Lynn's gun shipment, and he knows it belongs to
I have
Sergeant
insight
Jack.
about the shotgun later too.
Oh, good. What do you want to? You want to go now? Go for it.
Well, it'll go further.
Okay.
I'll
well,
wait.
All right. Just jot a note on your hand.
I got it.
All
My
right.
Palm Pilot.
He says there's a lot of blood and footprints. That's what this Asian Triad guy says. So, footprints and stuff. So why would he say that? I'm a little thinking that,
He thinks something's up.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of footprints.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Jax wears like Adidas and stuff. I'm just thinking, they might be putting 2 and 2 together. And a kilo of heroin was left right on the table, he says.
Heroin.
Like who would do that? Hey, we'll leave a key of heroin. We'll kill a bunch of people and leave the heroin.
They wanted it to look like a dispute over the drugs.
That was the key.
Yeah.
That's why they pulled that heroin out, cut it open, set it on the table like somebody was testing it. They try to make it look like.
Made sense if there was 2 guys at the scene.
Right.
Oh, right.
But when
And
the Chinese show up,
There's one dude.
There's only one dude.
Well, correct. Very good. And so now, yes, in hindsight, now it really looks weird. Correct. Very good call. See the Oscar? He's thinking.
He's more than just a pretty face.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, that's the bulk of it, really. The pretty face, yeah.
Pretty much.
So here's an awesome deal. And this is, again, Jax sitting in front of the Triad guy. We got to listen to the sound clip.
Okay.
Who were these guys? How'd you get intel on them?
One of our other charters, Indian Hills, bumped into him a couple times hauling guns back to Nevada. Ex-Peckerwoods move meth and anything else they can steal. They put the word out right after your buy got hit that they had smack to sell.
Not very bright.
That's my point. Figured it had to be them.
We're gonna dig into this. But for now, Henry will keep the Titan in place.
Fair enough. Let us know if you need help.
Oh, so there you go. We had to play that sound clip, but obviously, by the sound of that, they're looking into it. I think they're going to find a little more than we're expecting.
Even better.
I do. What do you think about that, Lurch? You got any thoughts?
Not really.
All right. Good to go.
Honesty's the best policy.
Way to go. Way to be
I was
involved.
reading down the notes and I
Yeah,
was a little off track. Sorry.
I just asked because I don't want to keep cutting you off. So
I'll just step in when I'm ready.
thank you.
Good work.
So after the Triad guy leaves, we don't know his name, so we're calling him Triad guy. The Asian guy leaves. Chibs is very concerned if he was telling the truth about the only body.
Yeah, they thought maybe they were making stories up.
Right.
Yeah.
They were fishing. Jack thinks they're
Exactly.
fishing a little bit.
Yep.
Tells Bobby, hey, make some calls, check into that.
Call jury, make sure everything's copacetic.
Right. Is that when he asked Bobby? Told him to check into it, right?
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Bobby leaves and gets on the phone.
Yep.
With who? He's supposed to call jury, right?
He calls
He
jury.
leaves a message for jury.
Who is the president of the Indian Hills.
I thought he actually talked to him.
He did later.
Later in the show.
Oh, okay.
So you're right, and you're right. Yes.
Nice.
He
Way
did
to
talk
go.
to him, and it is coming up later in the show. So he does later in a different scene. All right, so let's go into this. Jax, Chibs, and Happy and Bobby are all in the alley, of course, outside the porn shop. Ooh, good old August Marks showed up. I don't think August was too happy what's going on.
I think he has some concerns.
Jax gets in the back of the car with August Marks, and they talk it out. Here we go.
So what's going on?
What Lynn's crew want? So I'm driving away.
Just tying down loose ends on the Irish guns.
This doesn't work if we don't trust each other. Trust can't live in the same space as secrets and lies. You agree?
Yeah.
So, I'll ask you again. Why were the Chinese here?
Same reason you're here, August. Chinese gun buy down Selma got ambushed. We're the likely suspects. I gave Lynn proof that we had nothing to do with it. It's not gonna be a war.
I'll need that proof as well.
It was local Peckerwoods. One of our NV charters got the intel. I gave it to Lynn. His crew found them dead with a brick of their age. Sloppy amateurs.
Very convenient. Dead alibi. Few kilos still at large. I know they lost 4.
This doesn't work if we don't trust each other. So we good?
The biggest difference between me and Mr. Pope, Damon made his bones being the smartest guy on the street. I made mine being the deadliest. Don't cross me, Jackson. I have no remorse killing you or any of the sons.
Oh, I love that scene, dude. I had to record. That's intense.
That's
and
foreshadowing.
Oh, totally, dude. And I like it because I think Jax is a two-time and smart-ass backstabbing. Okay, whatever. I like his character, right? But in the show, dude, I like August because he can give it back, dude. And he goes, "Do you like that? Oh, alibi, huh?" Just like
Yeah, dead
totally
alibi.
like, dude.
Convenient.
Yeah, but I couldn't believe at the very end that he actually said, "I'll take you out or any of
Yeah.
the sons," dude. That's
Right.
taking it up. One thing is to say we need trust here, blah blah blah. But on the streets, dude, to straight up say, "I will kill you." Ooh,
August Marks
Jax
is-
was pissed, dude.
Oh, yeah, he didn't like that.
He's like a black Confucius.
Confucius say, man who stands on toilet is also high on pot.
Pot, yes, I love it.
That's confused. Just
Confucius. All right. So, anything else about that little conversation? So, I just think August is on to him. I think it is gonna either Jax or August is gonna die.
He knows
Yeah.
he knows what Jax is up to. He
Yep.
knows he's stirring stuff up.
history tells us August is going to die.
Right.
History
It
tells us,
does,
right?
'cause-
Yeah.
'cause he
All the
set up-
leaders of these other factions and clubs die, so it's just a matter of time.
And greed and revenge got the best of Pope,
Right.
and he
Yep.
died. August is going to die.
What if-
Jack smells it coming.
Yep. Well, he does, but I just think he thinks he's so smart that he can play everybody. But August is one that I don't think he's going to play for
formidable.
very long. He's formidable, as Unser would say.
That's right.
In episode 5, August Marks dies.
As dangerous as he is smart.
You heard it.
Mhm.
Episode 5.
There you go.
I disagree.
What did you disagree with?
He just said that August Marks is going to die in the next episode.
Oh, really?
No,
we got a
4.
prediction.
We got 2 episodes.
Okay, you said 5?
Yeah, because
episodes.
this is for 3 and 4.
Yeah. So we got 4 or 5.
Okay, how many episodes are there this season?
I don't know. There was like 13 or 14
Yeah.
last. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Okay, I'll
I think
revise.
No. You
I'll
already said
revise.
it. You already said it. It's recorded.
Yep.
Episode 7.
We will not.
Whatever, dude.
Matt's editing the audio on this one, so he's not going to cut that out.
No, I'm good for 5. I'm good for 5 because when we get a little bit later with the whole the pot he's stirring,
Right.
he's making some moves.
Right.
And involves Black a little bit.
I agree. And when he got out of the car there, we cut the sound clip off, but that's when he goes to Chibs and stuff and says, it's a black day.
It's a black day.
Yep.
And
It's
who
a
do they-
black day. And the
meaning-
rest of the episode is all about just completely causing chaos between black and purple, all the black factions.
Yeah,
so
who
to
does
speak.
who does he already start chaos with? Or internal chaos
With
with the black.
Yeah.
The black groups.
That's not how I took it, though, but maybe you're right. I took it as...
Oh, this is good.
What I took it as when he gets out and says it's a black day was, okay, August just laid some stuff down that kind of changes the way I'm thinking. And they changed their thought process because they were getting ready to go out and do something else. They were on their way to go do something. I forget what it was. Do you guys remember? They're heading out as a group to go do something.
They were, and he
Oh,
changed it.
And
Yeah,
they changed it. They were going to
that's
go
right.
hit somebody or do something.
Mhm.
What was it? Do you guys remember?
I don't.
Damn.
But you're right.
Oh,
But they were going to, and then he has that conversation with August, and he goes, we're changing. It's a black day, which made me think, but now that I'm hearing what you guys are saying is then they started messing with all the Niners and purple and all that kind of stuff. It's a black day. I took it as August laid it down. I got to change the way I'm going, but
Interesting insight.
I could be wrong
Oh.
because they did mess with the Black Cruise the rest of the episode. So you might be
Everything
right.
they
It's a
did the
black
rest of
day.
the episode was
Was
to
all-
get at August Marks.
Right.
He's trying to take
To set
out-
it in motion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think you guys are right.
Hey, it's always good to have multiple perspectives.
That's very philosophical, dude.
It is. It is. I
Wow.
like it.
Wow. The duality of man.
Well, not this episode. No duality of man.
No duality of man.
No, there's no duality in Jax at the moment.
So to put this in perspective, Jax and the crew, of course, after this, it's a black day, so they're going after all the black crews. To put this in perspective for the listening audience, if you didn't quite understand everything that went on, I really have to break these down and watch them like 3 times to break it down for you guys. But Jax and the crew, that's probably because I'm slow. Most people are probably like, I get it first time. But
No,
whatever.
there's just no.
There's
it
so
doesn't-
much you have to go back.
Just think about some of your favorite movies. You watch them and you don't watch
Right.
it for a while. You go back and you learn something different each time.
Yeah, true.
And especially with these,
Mhm.
especially being the last season, they're just packed full, and your brain can only absorb so much. I mean, you do
Right.
have to go back and watch it a couple times.
There's so many nuances
yeah,
Mhm.
that you're like, oh, that makes sense. And you didn't see it the first time.
especially going back and watching it again
Yeah.
because you know how it's going to end.
Right.
So your brain makes a little more.
You pay more
connections.
attention to the middle section than I
Right.
just want to see what happens.
Right.
And I get a lot of comments on email from people saying, hey, thank you for stating that.
I missed it.
Because they're like, I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
And I didn't get what he was saying. And then we try to put it in perspective for everybody. So this is a sound clip we're going to play, but just to put it in perspective, Tyler, Jackson, the crew, Chibs, Happy, Bobby, and all that kind of stuff. I think it was all of them. They meet, but Jax is the main guy, of course. They meet with the Niners. Is it the One-Niners? Sometimes they say One-Niners and then they say
Oh,
Niners for short.
One-Niners.
Right.
Yeah.
But then sometimes they just say Niners. So
They say Niner, but I think it's the one
It
like
is, 'cause-
19th Street or some 19th Ave.
Yeah, because they say both Niners and
Yeah.
One-Niners.
right. So we'll just call them the Niners. But they are the One-Niners, whatever you want to call it. Their leader, if you guys remember, is Tyler. Now, and they're the purple. That's what they call
Black Street Gang.
Right.
Right.
They call Tyler's crew the purple. And this
Which
is
probably the set of the Niners,
right.
if that makes sense. So the Niners have different factions or different sets.
They're
I guess
the
they call-
main-
They call it on the street. So purple is that group.
Is under
the Niners.
Right. Exactly. Very, very well put. I believe you're right. So this is a very interesting conversation. And this is when Jax, even as we're watching, are like, okay, that just completely changed things. And then we'll clean it up a little bit here.
What's up, bro?
Yo, good man.
Hey, thanks for meeting us halfway.
No problem. What's pressing?
Shit, what isn't?
I hear that. Shit's getting very complicated, man. Sorry about your old lady.
Thanks. Sorry about your crew getting hit.
Yeah, me too.
August shutting down payback. Can't be going down easy.
It ain't. Why am I here, man?
August is clamping down on us too.
I know. He thinks you hit the Chinese gun by. Did you?
The direction I'm headed might not be the same as August.
In fact, we may end up running head on into each other.
If that happens, I need to know where I stand with the 1-9ers.
Shit. We don't have independent business like your club. Leroy sold our street to Pope 3 years ago. August Marks feeds our pipeline. If we shit on that hookup, then we could lose everything.
Come on, bro. You was solid before Pope. You solid after Marks, right? What if I promise I'll make sure your crew keeps their turf, stays home?
Shit with the mines, my niggas is all sideways already, man. That's gonna be a hard promise to sell.
Maybe this'll make it easier. Half a key. You move that on your own. Nothing goes to Marks. We'll take a nominal bite. Use the profit to give Purple a base to break away.
And you get the other half once we're sure you're with us.
Shit. You did hit the Chinese.
Nah, let's just say it fell off a truck.
I have an internal problem. Could complicate things. One of my OGs, Chester Cray, he using this yellow-brown shitstorm to make a play. He's splitting off, starting a new set of Purple.
How many going with him?
Don't matter. Any divide hurts me. You help me squash that, and I'll make sure that the Niners land with the Outlaws.
Okay. There was a lot in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't care who you are, you watch that scene once, you're not going to pick. So let's put it in a wrapper of what that all means. You want to start with that, Lurch?
Well, he starts off by talking about how August Marks is holding not just the Niners back, but holding the Suns back, kind of putting them together as a team. It's us against him. And then they're kind of filling him out a little bit to see, if August and SOA go against each other, are you with us? What side are you on?
Right.
That's kind of the beginning of it, kind of feeling him out and seeing which way this guy wants to roll. If he's going to stay loyal to August, or maybe he'd be an entrepreneur.
There you go.
Enterprising young man and go where the money's at.
Yep. Oscar, follow up on that.
Throws him a huge bone. You guys hit the Chinese and
Oh,
they don't deny it. And
Nope.
but what he's building some trust.
right. Did you like what
say it fell off a truck?
Tiggy?
Yeah. All right. So that the Niners don't
So he gives him that guy's
plausible deniability.
right.
Yeah, where'd you get the heroin? Fell off a truck. But now they all know who did the Chinese job. And that building trust. And that's what August tells Jax, and Jax lies to him. But Jax goes to these guys, and the air is clear.
So you think by telling him, or basically making it clear that they hit the Chinese, that
He's
is
building
letting
a-
him know you'll definitely want to be with us.
Yeah, right. He's building
Is
an
that what you're
alliance.
saying?
Right, exactly. He's strengthening an alliance
So
against August.
let's talk about this Chester guy, because he brings Chester up, is another faction of the Niners for the audience. He's talking about Chester.
He's part of Purple,
But he's breaking away.
but he
He's
wants to
trying
break away. He wants to break away and start
Right.
a new faction, a new set.
Correct. Thank you.
Right.
Yes. So you've got Tyler, and he's always run Purple, which is within the Niners. Now there's another Chester guy that's trying to break off, and this is going to take a divide, and it's going to take business from Tyler. So he's asking Jax now, right, for help getting rid of Chester.
Right.
Right.
He's got an internal problem that needs to be taken care of, and that internal problem is Chester.
Miss Chester.
And ultimately, Chester's going to take over and kill Tyler. That's the bottom line.
It's a-
Tyler's saying
it's a
this
bit of
guy's
a-
going to make a run.
It's a coup.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Ooh, a coupe. Oh, no, that's
Mhm.
a car. Sorry.
Very good. So hopefully that puts it in perspective for you guys. So of course we find a little bit later in the episode on that, but that is the whole key. They're aligned now, but it's all
just for
in
now.
reason to take
Just
Marks
for now.
out.
That's right.
Just for now.
Right.
So in episode 5, when
It's all
August
in-
Marks dies,
Right.
It's stirring internal problems within Black, within
right,
August Mark and the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
he's pitting them against each other.
Yes, he's just creating in every, most of these gangs, for lack of a better word, are broken down by race. So he's in there stirring the pot in each race.
Mhm.
He's just making a mess.
What does Denzel say? This is chess. This ain't checkers, Mother Hubbard. Jax is playing chess.
Did he really say Mother Hubbard?
I didn't know if I could say the alternative.
Go ahead, do it.
He's marking this one explicit.
He says
It's already explicit. We've said shit and all kinds of stuff in here.
This is chess. This ain't checkers, motherfucker.
Oh, yep.
Checkmate.
Checkmate. Yeah, we just mark them explicit now if we say a F-bomb once in a while.
That happens.
Okay, so who wants to pick this up? Remember when Unser met with Sheriff Jerry? Sheriff Jerry.
She ain't bad looking, is she?
And she's looking for what did she say? A financial arrangement?
Well, not yet. This is just when Unser goes in there and talks to her because
wasn't that last? That was last.
No,
that
this
comes
one.
up. That comes
it
up
is.
later.
Oh, my bad. I got too far
He
ahead.
had talked with what's the DPA? The you said
Yeah, she's a DA.
DA
right? Yeah.
Patterson.
Patterson.
Okay, so DA Patterson talks to Unser about being a
consultant.
Thank you. So he finally goes in and meets with Sheriff Jerry to see if he can get this consulting job. He right away goes to the investigation of terrorist murder. Wants to see the file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait! You're an episode behind.
No.
Oh yeah,
you're an episode behind.
he is.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was episode 2.
And that's
remember,
okay.
that's when Gemma came in and saw the file when he was
Right.
sleeping with the tea.
It all blurs together. I get it, dude.
Right.
I get what you're thinking. So Unser meets with Sheriff Jerry, and he says he
I
has.
am an episode behind.
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
Hey, trust me. It's easy to get blurred here. So, basically, he's got an angle on terrorist murder is what he wants Sheriff Jerry to know, right?
Right.
And so he
And-
tells Henry Lynn's crew may be responsible. He just throws that out there, dude, because
He feeds
Juice told him that.
He's feeding her.
Well,
he knows Juice is full
Yeah,
of crap.
well-
Right.
And he's feeding her information. Hey, he's playing chess too.
Away
he's
from the
working the
Suns.
pieces, right?
you think he's
Right.
purposely trying to steer him?
Absolutely.
Why would he try to purposely steer him away from the Suns?
Because ultimately,
Because he
who's got
has his
back?
whole career and his whole time. And
Yeah.
he's connected to him.
but there's
and
more of a reason than there's.
he
gotta
loves-
be.
Because he's in
what-
love with Gemma.
He's in love with Gemma. Hey, amen, brother. Give me some love right over here. Not a bumper, a
He
bump.
wants to hit that old worn out catcher's mitt.
But for him, that's a pretty good catch.
I love it.
I'm
So
talking about the character, not the person.
Doesn't
Right.
matter. Either way. Either way, it'd be a good catch for him.
yeah, so Unser's got this apparent angle, and he does get it from Juice because we'll get into a little bit, but they exchange promises and whatever. So I think Juice is feeding him that information. Oscar's got a neat take on that, is that even Unser knows Juice is full of crap, but he's still going to tell the sheriff about that. Boy, I get it. I get where you're coming from. I feel what you're laying down. We'll
That's what
see.
I'm talking about.
So now remember Sheriff Eli who died? He was responsible to escort, right?
Yeah.
At that time, wasn't he responsible to escort Tara?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So
He was taking her home to get her stuff and get her the heck out of there.
right, and Unser thinks he may have just been collateral damage, which he
Right.
was.
He was.
And Unser
We know
comes
that.
up with that on his own. So
Right.
he knows what's going on.
He does.
knows what.
Cancer Wayne, Uncle Cancer Wayne's smarter than he looks.
He is like
Watch-
a carp.
He's going to end up being the unsung hero of this
He
whole
will.
thing. He'll come out.
Maybe he'll
smell
ride
like
off
a
with
rose.
Tig and Venus. It'll be Tig, Venus, and Unser.
He's like
Yeah.
a carp. You could throw him on the bank, beat the shit out of him, beat him in the head, and he slowly
Yeah.
slithers his way back to the water. He never dies, dude. Never dies.
Uncle Cancer Wayne.
All right. So, of course, Sheriff Jerry, being smart, wants to know his source of information.
He
They
won't give it up.
Nope. They get in a little argument about that. I mean, lightly, but he's not going to give it up because we all know it's Juice. And of course, she's looking for
She
Juice
wants him.
from an earlier scene. All right. So, anyways, again, Juice is feeding for that exchange. And then, Wendy comes home. And this is funny because me
Yeah.
and Lurch were talking about this. So,
Yep.
of course, the babysitter that's watching Thomas and all that rat is balls deep in the babysitter.
Got the little
And-
rat nuts in her.
And why is it not a big deal?
Who's the babysitter, Oscar?
I can't remember her name.
Well, here's what I thought.
Not her
I
name, but
want
where'd she come from?
I want you guys to
Where did-
confirm this for me, but I believe she's the
Daughter.
young gal that came to the ice cream shop.
The
got a-
dude that his house was getting repoed or whatever. Is that
Mhm.
his daughter?
That's what we're thinking. We believe that. We
She's
need
the
to get
daughter of the gal that died in JT's
Yeah, right,
motorcycle
right,
ride.
right.
Was that season
She's
5?
basically the daughter of the ghost we see all the time.
right.
Oh,
If we're putting it all together, right?
Oh, and why doesn't it matter that they're having sex in the house? Because the baby's sleeping.
Yeah, and
She's
Rat's like,
sleeping the whole time.
Rat's like, it doesn't matter. Baby ain't gonna remember.
And
That's right.
What's the big deal?
you know what? If Rat was smart, though, here's the deal. Here's the way I'm looking at it. All right, is Wendy walks in. If I'm Rat, all right, I'm just going to be Rat for now. I'm balls deep in the babysitter, right? Just owning that. And Wendy comes in, I ain't going to pull my pants up. First thing I'm going to do is try to get Wendy to
I'm
join.
gonna
Hey, babe, come on over.
Come on in, sunshine.
Because Wendy's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, when she's fixed up.
And she's on the verge of relapse.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Looking for a rebound. Yeah, you got to try to. Rat's got no game, man.
What's he
And
doing?
Wendy gets all worked up because she doesn't want that poor little girl turning out like she did.
She don't want him to
Right.
marry an outlaw.
Yeah,
Guess what?
Don't get sucked into this life there,
It's-
baby girl.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm in love.
No,
she
tells
says
him-
I'm in love.
She tells him, just don't get her knocked up. Uh-huh. It's
Right.
too late.
Too late.
He already did.
Kind of like Jax did with her,
Yeah, yeah.
Abel.
Product of your environment. That's right.
Speaking of products,
Products. That's right. Tech mount, guys. If you want to get that, it is a cell phone motorcycle mount and GPS solution. Awesome. We've got it on a couple of our bikes in the club, and we really appreciate you guys using our affiliate link to get that. If you want to see a full review on that, I did a video, everything. We really do believe it's the best mount. We tried it. We've tested it. It's sexy looking. A lot more sexy
Streamlined.
looking, streamlined, and definitely once you watch that video, my review video, you'll get why we promote it. But lawabidingbiker.com/cell phone motorcycle mount. You can get the review video over there. You can check it out, see what we think about it. And we thank everybody for using our Power Sports US affiliate. If you do want to purchase it, make sure you go through this link, lawabidingbiker.com/Power Sports US, and no additional cost to you. We do get a small commission for each sale if you decide to buy it through our affiliate.
We need a negative. You know that in the jails they have the negative airflow units for the. We need that in here. Overmat.
Yeah.
Lurches.
We need AC period in here. It's hot up here.
I just crapped the couch.
We need to suck some air
I
out
see
of this
you guys
room.
over there. I see you guys.
I crapped the couch and then I was
Yeah, he's sharing
wafting
it.
at
Sharing
him.
it for us. Yeah.
I want to make sure you got the full effect.
Because
of
when
it.
you're little, it's good to share.
Yes.
Not when you stink.
We're
Right.
definitely going to get some kind of flow in here
Smell like
for sure.
roses.
Smells like ass and roses.
Right. Or guns and. No, that's
Right.
different. Sorry.
So let's talk about Jack's meeting with Borowski, guys. Remember this? He met with Borowski briefly, and I was wondering what's going to happen, but he wrote something on a napkin and handed it to Jax. We find out what that's for
Yep.
later.
That was
Yeah.
a time and place for later.
All right. So Jax meets with the Niners competition crew is what we're going to call them, and that's Chester's crew, right?
Yep.
They meet at the pier with Purple. All right, which are Purple because they're part of they're
Right.
part of
They're the Niners.
right. Well, right, but they're part of the Purple because they're just trying to break off from Tyler.
And they're all standoffish when they meet. You know, the guys get their hands on their gats.
Why don't you go? You got it.
So they get together, and Jax makes a deal with for them to become allies and stand up against Marks. What Jax says is, Lynn had my wife killed and won't let me retaliate. Same way he
August
your
won't
crew-
let him retaliate, right?
Yeah, Marks.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Same way he wouldn't let your crew get back at the mine. So again, he's meeting up with those guys.
Ooh.
He's creating a bond
Yeah.
where you're both against Marks because he won't let us retaliate for your crew and for my wife.
Playing them like little bitches.
When I first saw this, I wasn't sure who he was setting up.
Yeah, I wasn't either. It was very well written because I watched that one. Oh, who were they setting up here? Because he said he would take care of the internal problem, but this scene was so good that made me think, maybe not.
Yeah,
he's
right.
Maybe he's playing Tyler.
That's
you know?
that's exactly what I thought.
It was pretty well written.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good call. I like that. So they get done, right? And then says he will split the spoils. Jack says he will split the spoils of war if he agrees to it, right? And wants him to retaliate, right?
Yep. Says we'll get all the guns back that the mines took from you.
Right.
We know where they're stored.
Which is in we all know is in Borowski's little warehouse, right?
Dirty Borowski.
And those are the guns that, were taken originally from the Chinese down at that, whatever, County Salma or whatever they call it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. And this is when he hands the napkin.
Right.
Where
Which
it
had
comes
the
into
address
place.
and where the guns are stored.
And it's just a big setup, man.
Because he'd asked Borowski for that information, and Borowski goes, "Boy, I don't regret this," or something like that. Or
You're right.
Right.
He did say some smart ass stuff.
Yeah.
It was funny though. Yeah. All right. So Jackson the Purple, of course, Chester's crew, the Niners competition crew meet up at the gun storage. We all know it's a setup. I knew it. I'm sure you guys did.
Yeah. Once we got
At
there.
that point, I was like, oh, yeah.
Especially when they go, okay, you two go over here and we'll go over here.
Right.
So you split up their crew and you got your guys with them.
Yep.
You
It's not
tell
like
me-
you guys take the front, we'll take the back.
Right.
No, you and my two guys take the back, and you and us will take the front.
How did Kurt? He wrote that one scene so well, and then the next scene when they're going to the warehouse, like, duh, okay, really?
Yeah.
So he had to have done it on purpose. He's an intelligent dude.
Yeah, but there's at some point you can't keep everything a
Right.
secret. You're like, at some
Right.
point, smart guys like us are like, yeah, we're going to figure
We
out
could have
what's gonna
drawn it out
happen.
a little longer. And when they all go up to look at the guns,
Right.
and then the SOA guys are standing
Stand
back,
behind.
you're like, okay, I know what's coming now. Really.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
And let's, all as criminals and not trusting each other, let's just turn our backs to each other.
Right.
And I'm gonna take my gun, stick it in my pants, and then pull up, open up this chest.
Because it's like Christmas,
Well, you guys-
and kids love Christmas.
With people I just met
Right.
standing behind my back
That I really don't
And
like.
they have guns.
that want me to kill some. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So they go in there. We all know what happens. They split up and they shoot them all. They shoot and kill all of Chester's crew. All right. Let's move on. Father of the call girls. Remember this guy? He shows up, and one of the call girls at Diosa, and he shows up to get some money. Why don't you take it, Oscar?
Well, see,
You remember this?
yeah, oh yeah.
This guy
Oh, yeah.
shows up.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
pissed
yeah.
that his girls.
Well, no, there was some foreshadowing to
Mhm.
what is she? She talked about episode 2 about her dad wanted to take her money or something. And
Yeah.
he shows up
earlier in this episode, actually.
Was it really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
earlier.
So
she got a phone call. She's talking, and
Oh, that's right. She
Yeah.
tells Lila. Didn't she tell
Correct.
Lila dad's gonna come
Yeah.
take my money?
Correct.
And so the dad shows up, and they get into kind of a scuffle. He's trying to get into her purse and get her money, and she screamed, "Dude,
thank you.
wow,
Oh,
I
man.
crapped the
Wow.
couch again.
Stop.
I can't help it, man. I'll explode if I
We might
don't.
have to turn the fan on again." And Gemma comes in, and she hears the screaming, and she comes in and sees this guy fighting with the babysitter, and tells him to stop, and then smacks him, and he punches her, and then our hero
Nero.
Nero runs in, and he throws a little beat down.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to poop.
Go ahead. I mean, no, not you.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Oscar.
Okay. This is a white couch. I don't know if you want me to do it.
And then
Nero straight up went Rocky.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
He threw some blows down and beat up the
He's an OG.
poor dad.
Mm-hmm.
Who stops it? Was it Jax that comes in? No, who comes in and stops him?
Who did stop him? Good question.
No, it was Jack. Oh, that's what I was gonna say, because this is a setup scene. So I was like, this whole episode 7's written with all these nuances and foreshadowing, and Kurt Sutter's a genius, and then this random, and I'm like,
Yeah,
random,
you're right.
random, and then it's a setup scene for Jerry and Jax, and was it Chibs or Scotty to meet
Same
Jerry?
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not Chibs. I mean, Tig. Was it Tig? And anyway,
Well,
so Kurt writes this as a setup scene for Jerry to be able to have time with Jackson,
Correct.
the club.
Very good.
So at first I was a little disappointed. Then when I saw what happened, I'm like, oh, so here comes Sheriff Jerry
To save the day.
and to make a special connection with the club
Right.
and a special connection with Chibs.
You're.
It was Chibs. It was Chibs and Jack.
It was.
That's right. Because what does she tell him?
You're right. Well, here we go. Let's see what she tells him. How about that?
Why don't you play that, son?
Oh yeah, I like that talk.
Shut the door, please. Sheriff Althea Jerry.
Jax, tell her.
Chibs.
I didn't realize this was a family business.
Well, we're business partners, though. We run another place out of Stockton as well.
I know.
This is a rare occurrence for us. We run a legit, quiet business here.
I get it. All your paperwork's in order, your permits are up to date. However, Mr. Haas, your employee's father, he's pressing assault charges.
Well, we're gonna be pressing charges as well, then. He came in here and he smacked Gemma.
Mr. Haas says he came by to pick up the money his daughter owed him. They were having a family discussion. Gemma interfered. He told her to back off. Then Mr. Padilla here went to town on him.
Come on, that doesn't even make sense.
I'll tell you what. I'll have a chat with the dad. Let him know how complicated these things can become.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that.
You know what I would appreciate? I would appreciate you helping me find Juan Carlos Ortiz. He's the only member of your charter that we haven't interviewed about the murders.
Juice split when I was inside.
Yeah. He didn't really see much about where he was going.
That's unfortunate because if I can't track him down, the DA wants to put out an APB.
I'll see what I can find out.
What about the Chinese? Would they have any reason to want to hurt your club?
Not that I know of. I'm a very big fan of their food.
Are we done here? Can I go?
Yeah, just stay reachable. I'm sure we can all work together to keep Charming safe and profitable for everyone. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
We should connect later, Scotty.
There is a new sheriff in town. Apparently, she's looking for a profitable relationship.
And that good old was we didn't humping. I'm gonna let you guys handle all the humping. Borowski called while all this shit was going down. There's trouble at the docks.
What trouble?
I don't know, but I'm gonna go down there and find out.
All right, dude, there's a lot in that scene. Going backwards, of course, the trouble at the docks is because all the Chester's crew is dead.
Yeah.
Of course, Nero's getting word of that. She's hitting on Chibs, Scotty.
I think he
needs a good old humping.
Well, she says typical Chibs. You don't know exactly what he said. He said she
Yes.
needs a good old unintelligible word humping.
Humping.
I know. I couldn't figure out what. Yeah.
I played it like 5 times. I can't fit, and we got it on audio right here. And I cleaned it up, but I
Good
still.
old humping.
I'll leave the humping to you. That's what Nero says. I'll leave the humping to you.
Awesome.
But obviously, briefly, they're getting in a relationship here. And Matt's got some insight on this, which is really awesome.
Well, I have a thought.
You have a thought, but I think it's insight. I do.
Okay.
I think it came to you in your dreams. Or maybe Jerry came to you in your dreams.
The dry. Oh, that was the other
Maybe that was Jerry
dry dream.
when you were dry humping the bed.
Might have been.
All right. So she's obviously, Jax likes it because she's talking. This can be profitable for all of us.
Right.
He's starting to realize, dirty cop. We don't know. But at this point, Jax thinks she's dirty. All right. And obviously they're going to put that. Why don't they want, do you guys know why they don't want an APB on Juice?
Yeah, well, it shows up later.
Well,
they talk about it later.
Right. But I'm just telling you as LEOs, why wouldn't you want an APB on Juice?
We start pulling over a guy with
Thank
that
you.
on.
Right. It puts way too much heat on the club. It's the last thing. They will be pulling over every freaking SOA and they just don't need that kind of attention.
Yep.
So there you go. Just wanted to answer that for the audience.
Now,
All
I
right.
want to know, I think your thought is the same as mine, but I want to know what it is.
Okay. You want it now?
Yeah, because we'll just talk about it now.
Here's my
so
thought.
later, real quick, Jax does, Chibs brings her some money to pay her off. So go ahead.
Yeah, he brings her some money to get the APB.
Right.
All points bulletin.
To get it
squashed. Well, here's my thought. Everybody's thinking, oh, here's another sheriff in town, dirty sheriff. I think she's working him.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
But Oscar, she took money, illegal money.
That doesn't matter.
Why?
She's almost playing a dual role here. She's playing the sheriff. Now she's dressed down. I'm a dirty cop. But all she has to do is go back and voucher that money.
Yes.
And write a report.
Yes.
As part of her RICO case for later on.
This is what I was waiting for.
This is exactly what
and I agree
thought.
with Matt.
What I've learned about Sutter also is he it's not that easy. You know, he's going to put something out there that it's easy that you're going to maybe take bait on and go, oh, dirty cop. But later on, you're going to find out that she's running a case and screws them all over, shuts the club down, kind of thing.
Right. And
it's
remember,
always not what you expect. It's
right.
So kind of like the Big Brother. Expect the unexpected.
But that's exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. Because she made it way too easy.
And she didn't jump in the car with Chibs later on.
Right.
And have a unintelligible humping.
Unintelligible humping. All right. So remember,
great minds think alike. That's what I'm talking about.
Before she came to become the sheriff, she worked for the task force, so she knows all about this.
She worked organized crime.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to bring it in for the audience, what that means is if she is working legitimately and she is taking that money and putting it in evidence and she's wired and all that kind of stuff, that makes a RICO case, a racketeering influence criminal organization, corrupt organization. And that is a huge federal statute that will buy them all a ton of time. And I think that's what she's working now that, of course, because you made me think
how
of it.
long would it take to actually infiltrate the club and get an agent in there and try and get, cut and be part of the club? You could just pose as a dirty cop, which is what they want to have.
Not just a dirty cop with a vagina.
And you're in the
which is even more powerful.
Yeah, yes.
And remember, she asked Unser.
It's out in the open.
The vagina gets you every time.
But she's not even pretending to be somebody she's not.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, she's pretending to be dirty, but she's being herself. How easy is that?
Yep. But Chibs wants that vajayjay.
Yeah.
Remember, she asked Unser, what
the
did
power
she
of the vajayjay.
She told Unser, how do we get it back to how you had it or something like that? And then she brings Unser in. Oh, the dots are starting to
Yeah,
connect.
because he'll be her information hub.
Oh, she's using Unser like a little bitch,
Oh,
but he's
yeah.
using her too.
Right.
So
I think she's better at it though. Unser's dying.
Well, she's got a vajayjay.
That helps.
When you got that,
You got a
and
lot of
you're
power.
already playing people,
Right.
you can even play if you're halfway decent looking.
It's called leverage.
Right.
The JJ leverage.
All right. So here's where Bobby Elvis calls Jury, the president of the Indian Hills, to find out about that dead guy. Do you remember this, Oscar?
Oh, and it was how he lied to Jury was awesome.
Dude,
we
totally.
just want to track him down. Doesn't give anything away. Bobby says they're out bragging about things and that the club needs to remind them of.
So he's lying to him, saying,
"Oh, great! It was great too,"
because he knows they're dead, right?
Yeah, and Jury claims one of the guys' names is Gib O'Leary. O'Leary.
O'Leary. That's right. Sorry, I just tried to spell it. Yeah, right.
And okay, so wait. The best part of that whole scene, there's two parts. One, Jury's clutching the dog tags.
From one of the dead guy that he removed from the scene.
Which is, can I make my prediction?
Thank you, because I'm with you.
It's his gay lover.
Nope, it's his kid. It's his kid.
Yeah, it's
I know why. I know why he did it that way. And what else is in that scene? The shotgun.
Yep, the very shotgun that was used to take down the Chinese, and he knows it belongs to SOA.
And
to
guess
Sam
what he's
Crow.
going to do with it later? My second prediction: try and kill Jax with it.
Ooh.
Yep.
He's saving it for a reason.
He is.
Why? I know my deal. What in my mind, but why didn't he just tell when they first used them as muscle to take down the Chinese? Why didn't he just say, Jax, that's my son right there, and we're going to use him? Why did he keep it a secret? Why is he keeping it a secret? Why did he say it's my local muscle? Why didn't he just say, Jax, that's my boy, he's going to help us take down the Chinese? Because then Jax wouldn't have killed him, maybe.
We talked about it, and I know. Okay, so I see your. I know. That's going to be revealed. I think the answer to that is going to come. My thing is he's trying to work his kid into the club, but also protect his kid at the same time. So if something gets screwed up with Jury, they don't go after his kid. He's just local muscle. So like, a lot of things that happen, like, with LEOs, when we're out with our kids or if we're around suspects or whatever, we don't always talk about the fact that we have kids because we don't necessarily want everyone to know that we have kids. He's doing the same thing. He's bringing his kid in, trying to figure out if his kid's going to fit, if his kid's going to work out. And that way, if his kid screws up or if he screws up or something comes down on the club, it doesn't come down on his kid. And his kid can just be local muscle. No one knows and he can get away and be done with it. Your take is way more interesting. And knowing Kurt Sutter like I do now, I think
I can't believe you're going that light.
I know. I think your take is probably a lot better. So
Jury's all in.
It's his illegitimate child or something.
No, Jury wasn't in. They were.
This is it right here.
They were patched in later.
Right.
And he was reluctant to be.
Yeah, they were a different club.
Yeah, they were reluctant to be patched in. And in that meeting in Nevada, Jury was like, I'm not sure about this. And that their club wasn't unanimous. And several members walked out in that meeting where they were supposed to vote on being patched in. So 3 or 4 guys left. Well, this isn't for us. We don't went into this kind of stuff. So
good memory.
All right, go for it. I know.
Good call.
Your take's way more interesting.
It's just like this.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
All right. So I'm saying that his son is gay. And because the guy he was with, and there were only 2 at the house, I think he's in a gay relationship. And I believe that obviously with that, you don't do that with a motorcycle club. I think his dad loves him, but there's no way that he is going to let Sam Crow know that his son was gay. I think he was just muscle. That way it keeps him out of the picture. He doesn't have to admit that his son's gay to the club because that's a no-no, right?
But not for Jury. It doesn't affect Jury, but his son would never be in the club.
Right, but he doesn't even want to deal with that. I think he's embarrassed of the fact, and he doesn't want to tell people. That's just my prediction. I don't know if I'm right. I just think that he's protecting something because he's gay. And did you say something, Matt, that you think he's illegitimate child, or are you just being joking?
I hadn't thought a lot of it, so I'm actually thinking as you guys have been speaking, and I
believe it's his son.
I was going to say maybe it's maybe they.
I'm not saying
you're
wrong.
Love affair with Gemma, and it's actually his brother.
Right. I think he wants Venus with a penis.
But look at Tig. They know Tig's kind of.
Nah, but he's
bisexual.
My original thought was that kid was Jury's lover.
Okay, and there you go.
That'd be even a weirder twist.
Which is gay and lover. So we would kind of both be right to a certain extent.
But you'd think in the scene where Jury's, I'm going to call him Jury's kid, gets shot because Jax asked him, Jax asked him, hey, is it just you two partying? Yeah, it's just us two. Leads you to think that kid and that other dude were.
I'm with you. I think he's gay and or.
I think he's Jury's kid for sure.
Right. Okay. There you go. So Jury's kid.
But he also says, "Where did you come up with these guys? From a local whore I know."
Well, yeah, but our host here explains that,
right?
And so do I. You know, keeping them separate.
Right. That's just keeping them separate. What do you say?
I say it's his lover.
Okay, that's good. I like it.
Put it down.
Old man, young man.
Not his son, but his lover. What if it's his son and his lover?
They're not in Missouri, dude. I mean Arkansas.
That's too much.
Or South Dakota.
All right. Okay.
Moving on.
That's good stuff, though. Good predictions, man. All right. So, okay, Jackson crew meet back up with Tyler, right? And he tells him that he took care of his competition, which was Chester, the other faction of the purple there or whatever.
Chester the molester.
Chester,
how hardcore of a gangbanger can you be if your name's Chester?
Right.
Not much. Or maybe you need to be a gangbanger so you don't get your ass beat every day.
Oh, true. Good point. Yeah. There's always the other side.
So Jax tells him that the nervous ones need to be weeded out. So there was a lot of people that were thinking about splitting off.
Sounds like it.
Right. There was a bunch that were thinking about splitting off and with Chester, but Chester's dead now. There's still some controversy within. And so Jax is like, you need to be all whole. And anybody that's nervous or thinking about it, they need to be taken care of. All right. So tells Tyler to have someone he trusts put out the word.
Well, but it's obvious Tyler doesn't know how to do that. Because he says,
right.
Doesn't he ask Jack, what do I do?
Right. He does.
Come on, Tyler, really?
Correct. What kind of street thug are you? Now you're letting SOA run your street crew?
And see, Jax knows that.
Yep.
Oh, I've got a hand on one arm and a hand on the other.
Yep. Not only now he's asking me for advice.
Right.
Right. And so he tells him, hey, obviously don't you do it, Tyler, but have somebody put out the scuttlebutt on the street that, everybody's gather up anyone who wants to see a change in leadership. So basically all the nervous ones are supposed to get the word that, hey, we're all going to meet at this time at this place because we're not all in with Tyler. And of course they're just herding them like little sheep into a little place where they can kill them all. But that is what Jax's plan is, and have them all meet at a certain time, location, quarantining them, all that kind of good stuff. So Tyler agrees, says he'll call August Marks and tell him about their renegade problem. Tell him about these guys, these nervous guys, and that they've got some renegades. And they do later meet with Marks, and he gives them the green light. He doesn't want, he wants to get rid of them, of course, and says tells Tyler, end this rogue problem. Of course, Chester is already dead. But August doesn't know that. And they're just going to finish up the last of them that might have been thinking of going with Chester. All right. So they show up at the Chester supporters, of course. They're all there in Chester's SUV. Just fool them. Remember that?
Yep.
They show up. Because I think they were standing there and they go, that's Chester's RV.
Yeah, it kind of put them at ease.
SUV.
Put them at ease.
Mm-hmm. You guys want to take it off? What happens here, dude? It's some crazy stuff, dude.
Oh, yeah. The Mayans and Nero jump out with
I couldn't
fully
believe
automatic
Nero,
weapons.
dude.
Well, earlier on...
I know, but I didn't want to believe it.
Well, earlier on, president of the Stockton Mayans tells him, you're in on this. You're in.
Right.
Right. So he's like, he doesn't have a choice.
Yep. You're part of this. This is Brown.
This is a Brown problem. You're in.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sending one of your guys. You're coming, dude. Maybe checking his loyalty. I don't know, whatever.
I don't think Nero can be a mediator anymore, dude.
No, he actually said at one point, I think it was this episode, maybe the last one, he said that he's losing his diplomatic status.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was that last episode. Yeah, so they all jump out, the Mayans and Nero, and open up with the automatics and just hose down Chester's supporters.
The last of the nervous ones.
But why are the Mayans doing the dirty work here?
Because they have a stake in it, too.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a huge stake in it.
In the internal problem, but is Jax creating an alliance there with the Mayans and
he's
Tyler?
He's trying to with everybody, I think.
Yeah, he's got alliances with everybody, and he's at the same time turning everybody against themselves.
Right.
He's just creating chaos.
Absolutely. Yep. Mayans have a huge stake in all this. Yeah. Because
they got the guns.
Right. Exactly. So, all right. So that was awesome, dude. Borowski, they're investigating that crime scene where they shot Chester and all his crew, dude. And of course, Borowski's got another cop on the take, dude. He gives him a story, says, drop them in Lincoln City. He says it will give him something those shitheads something to do. So he's in with the dirty cops that are investigating the shoot down, get rid of the bodies. He's telling them how to clean it up and blah, blah, blah. And Nero and the Mayans, of course, the Oakland president of the Mayans is there too. And I think that's when he says, "You're all in." I think I jumped scenes a little bit, but yeah, you're right. It was right there where he said, "You're all in. This is a Brown problem." All right. Nero and the Mayans, Oakland president. Do you guys, they never say his name and I should know it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. You know what I'm talking about?
I've never heard, I don't remember his name.
The other Mayan prez.
Yeah, right. Here we go.
This cleanup's going to require something extra in next week's envelope.
How the hell did the Niners find out where we store our shit?
Not my problem. You pay me to protect it, I did. I think it's going to get worse. There's a 1-9 coup going down right now in Oakland. These guys had something to do with it. Word is Tyler had nothing to do with coming after your guns.
Shit, rogue set looking to arm up.
Makes him a threat. Gotta be dealt with.
Exactly, and I don't want it landing here.
Here?
This Niners splinter group is meeting here in Stockton, off the grid, gathering up at the old Creme Club down on Winchester. They'll be there today at 4 o'clock.
How do you know that?
I know everything dirty that moves in a 10-mile radius of here. You should take note of that.
Hey. Oh, yeah. We'll meet at the liquor store.
Hey, this is a Mayan problem.
No, carnal. It's a Brown problem. And you may not want to believe this essay, but you're in this shit as deep as the rest of us. So be there.
There you go. And that's exactly what Lurch was talking about, telling him he's all in and all that. And of course, Borowski there. I love that guy. He plays a good character, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah.
It does a really good job at that. But he's basically telling him, hey, these spin-offs, these nervous guys off Tyler's crew are the ones that did this. And
it's not Tyler, it's the other guys.
Right. Right. Exactly. And so he's basically, getting them in on this to help them, right?
Get the dirty work done.
To get the dirty work done.
Right.
Thank you. All right. You got anything on that, Oscar?
Nada.
All right. So we're going to wrap up here, and Chibs gets a call that he has to meet his probation officer. This was awesome, dude. He gets a call that he's got to meet his PO at a diner. And he was going to go help with some stuff, but he had to peel off from Jackson, all that. Shows up. Who is it? None other than Unser sitting there, dude. You see the look on Chip's face. He's like, what are you doing here, dude? And this is an awesome scene. But Juice walks in. Of course, Chib sits down with Unser. He's trying to figure out what all this is going on. And of course, he sits down, and this is the big conversation between Juice and Chibs.
I took him at gunpoint. He had no choice.
Jesus Christ. You dumb bastards.
It's the only way I can get you to come alone. I needed to talk to you.
You're way past talking. You should have ran when you had the chance, buddy.
This is all I have. I got no place to run to.
What the hell do you want?
Did the club vote for mayhem? Or is Jax doing this on his own?
That's none of your business.
I need to know if there's something I can do to earn my way back. I'll do anything, man. Please.
If I were you, I'd get that gun, put it in my mouth, and pull the trigger.
You follow me out, I'll put a round in your tires. I'm sorry, brother. I never meant to hurt the club. It's the only family I have. I love you.
There's a dozen badges between you and the door.
Where is he going?
I have no idea.
Where is he going?
Old Unser.
Where are you going?
Where is he going?
Where is he going to go?
I don't know, dude.
He's got to go to East Coast or something.
But
yeah, he ain't going anywhere. He doesn't know anywhere else.
And of course, that was the favor that Unser was returning to him, getting him that setup with Juice and Chibs. So freaking Juice, dude. After all that, he just wants to go there and try to get back in.
I'm sorry.
The guy's such a weasel.
Do you forgive me?
He's got nowhere else to go. He's got nothing else to do.
Did you guys see the scene there where Gemma was talking to her birds?
She's not talking to her birds. Oh, listen. You guys talked about this last time. She's crazy cuckoo. And just talking. You know who she's talking to? Listen to her.
She's
talking to Tara.
Oh, I was going to say she's talking to...
she's having a conversation.
Either way, she's crazy.
Oh, yeah. She's having a conversation with dead Tara. Because the episode before, 2 episodes ago...
Washing dishes.
She's having a conversation with Tara's ghost. With Tara.
Trying to make it okay what she did. Right. Trying to justify it to Tara.
Yeah, they talk about Tara's ghost a lot and what's going to happen. She's talking to Tara. She's having a conversation with Tara.
Either way you split it. Go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah, Tara's dead. So if she's talking to Tara, she's crazy.
Right. That's what I mean. She's she's losing it. All right. Chibs meets up. This is one of the last scenes here. Chibs meets up with Sheriff Jerry, of course, and she is in plain clothes.
Wait a minute. Oh, you going to play a soundbite?
Go ahead. No,
Kurt would have
I don't have a soundbite for this, bro.
No, Kurt would have scored a lot more points with me if one of the birds would have said, Tara's dead. Tara's dead.
No doubt, dude. No doubt. So he meets up. Go ahead. One of you guys remember this? Jerry pulls down her pants, pulls down her shirt, all this good stuff. Sure gets the money, yeah.
Yeah, when they compare scars.
Yeah, she asked him what chips means, and he says actually it's Chibs, which is Scottish for street blade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's just
reaches
sexy. She touched it, didn't she?
Touches his scars.
On his face.
And that's a copy from, was it Lethal Weapon 4? When Mel Gibson meets Rene Russo.
You got me on that one.
And they, how many times he been shot? No, this is a shotgun.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, I just threw that out there.
Random.
No, it's good.
It was terribly random.
Chibs actually has those scars. I don't know where he got them in real life, but
yeah, he does.
The actor himself has those scars.
Oh, wow.
Good call. Yeah, they're not makeup.
Oh, no, they're not. They're his.
Yep. So they talk about how she was an angry 19-year-old, blah, blah, and then she shows, of course, the sexy shirt up and the low-cut jeans and getting Chibs all hard or horny or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, he does. Again, the vajayjay corrupts every time. And Chibs he's getting dizzy. He's losing sight of the facts, Oscar. He's losing sight because he's just...
And can you help it?
He's just trying. He thinks he's going to score a piece, and she's just using that.
The blood's flowing to the wrong head.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Absolutely. She's just playing him. And he hands her that envelope of cash, says she was hoping it was Intel on juice, apparently. And Chibs says it's to stop that APB, which we discussed a little bit. The APB they don't want out, puts heat. All points bulletin for the listeners that don't know what an APB is. A lot of people hear it on TV and they ask me all the time, what's an APB? They hear it. It's an all points bulletin. Basically, it goes to all law enforcement agencies all over the United States.
Be on the
lookout. Yep. A bolo. Be on the lookout. And Chibs tries to get her mind off the Chinese because she knows she is kind of thinking about it from their conversation with Jax. And he's telling her, hey, it's all good with the Chinese. You guys got anything else?
I've exhausted my wealth of knowledge.
You got to move into the little outro scenes, or?
Yeah, we can. Do we have it? Oh, we do have the outro scenes. All right. Yeah, there you go. So good idea. So the outro scenes, of course, they got the music rolling and they do all that. Gives us a little insight into what's going on. At the direction of Gemma, Wendy and Unser picked Juice up and check him into some hotel, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some random hotel because they got to get him out.
Right. Says stay in here, don't go anywhere. Unser says I'll check you in under my name.
Yep. Absolutely. And the Grim Bastards are in masks. Remember? Oh, that's right. The Grim Bastards is who that is, guys, in those masks. If you didn't know that, they break into Henry Lynn's brothels. One of his brothels is massage.
His little rub and tug.
Yeah, rub and tug.
Hey, his massage parlor.
Love it. Of course, why did they do this? To stir trouble against August Marks, okay? Because one of the Grim Bastards, if you remember, purposely yells, August Marks doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, she says, you know whose place this is? And he says, August Marks don't give a shit.
Yep. And why did he say August Marks?
Stir it up between the Chinese and August.
Yep. There you go. Beat some people down, get back into a van. Tiggy is driving the van. He's driving the getaway van. They always are at the end, just throw wrenches and everything like this. Gemma goes to the Haas house, which is that guy that beat, that was punching his daughter over at Diosa. Remember?
Yeah. She takes him pineapple upside down cake.
Did we not all know what was going to happen here?
Oh, yeah.
I was just waiting for Jax and the crew to come in the back. She takes a cake to the door, right?
Pineapple upside down cake, if you look at it.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. She even said that.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
say
I thought she said it was a pineapple upside down cake or something.
Mm-hmm. And what did she tell us, guys? She claims it's a peace offering or something.
Peace offering. I'm sorry. Blah blah blah.
And she uses the vajayjay to get in the door.
Oh yeah. Starts flirting with him a little bit.
A lot of it. Yeah.
Totally. And what happens then, boys?
Jax comes to the door and beats the crap out of him.
Actually beats the carp out of him.
If you look at the notes, it beats the carp out of him. But
oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, tunes him up.
Nice.
He's got no carp left in him.
All right, so it's just me. You guys are stuck with me for the rest of this episode. We're going to cover episode 4. The reason is Oscar and Lurch had some other obligations. And we had a whole bunch of content. So, yep, there you go. You're stuck with me. But we just have a few things to clean up. And that's going to be episode 4 of Sons of Anarchy. And it aired on 9/30 of 14. Don't forget, you guys can get all the show notes over at lawabidingbiker.com/SOA10. And we're going to be doing 1 podcast per 2 episodes. So there you go. All right. So Jax, let's talk about a few things. I have a few little predictions and maybe some insight into things if you didn't quite understand everything. Jax and Marilyn Manson, whose name is Tully, of course, he's in with the Aryan Nation and all that neo-Nazi type stuff. He's still in jail, and Jax meets him. They're talking in dog code, and if you guys remember the scene, it's kind of funny. They're talking about, I'm going to walk your dog and all that, and the dog food might expire and whatnot. And that's because there's cameras in this particular visitation cell. But Tully's such a freak that he ends up pulling out a cell phone, and he's going to make a call, and Jax says, hey, what are you doing with the cell phone? There's cameras right there. And Tully tells him, oh, don't worry about it. I bought this room. There's no video cameras. Of course, Jax is like, all right, you freak. Then why are we talking in code? And of course, Marilyn says, because I miss my dogs. Yep. So Tully's kind of a freak, and his character should develop pretty good as we go along here. I'm kind of enjoying his character. I must say that Lurch was right. Props to Lurch. He had mentioned here before he left this evening that he was saying that Gemma, when she's talking, when we see those scenes and she's talking, we think to herself. She's not actually talking to herself. She is, in fact, talking to Tara. Okay, so yeah, she is talking to herself. I was right, too. There you go, Lurch. But okay, there's more to it than just that, but obviously she's got voices in her head, and somehow that's taking control, and everything she's trying to justify and let Tara know the decision she's making and why she's making the decision. And of course, we see another scene. Old Juicy is getting a little crazy. He's talking to himself. I'm not sure who he's talking to yet, but there was a shower scene later on in the episode, and he was talking to somebody in the shower who was not there. In fact, Unser and Wendy showed up and asked him who he was talking to, and there was nobody in that shower. And later he breaks down and cries and talks about the voices in his head, and he doesn't do good alone, which is why he doesn't want to just flee and be by himself. Every time Juice grabs a gun, I'm going to tell you, there's a couple scenes in the last several episodes where they have a camera on Juice, and he's grabbing a gun, and he's packing it, or he's putting a silencer on it. And I'm not going to lie to you, every time that happens, I really believe that he's going to put it in his mouth and do the deed. And I think that's what they're trying to make us believe. Maybe he should. I don't know. But I think that's what they're leading us to believe. And I keep thinking it's going to happen. All right, let's move on. Jackson crew talk with Tyler. Of course, he's one of the leaders of the Purple. And they meet at the Red Woody Porn Studio. And I actually have a soundbite for this. I thought it was pretty good. So let's take a listen in on that.
Hey, boss. 3 Chinese rubbing tugs got hit last night. Black guys. Lamb wants blood. He thinks that it was us.
Was it?
Hell no. August is spinning out, man. He's afraid that the streets are going to blow up as he's trying to close his deal in Piedmont. It's a huge government housing project.
Is that the one where his partner's MIA?
Yeah, had him. He's a pastor over at Piedmont Grace. August needs his signature on the paperwork by the end of the day tomorrow. And before Lynn retaliates and all his investors get skittish.
And what? Preacher won't sign?
Just dropped out of sight last week. And now his old lady is MIA.
Why are they all disappearing?
I don't know. But his wife's got power of attorney. She can just sign off on everything. August thinks that she'll be easier to find.
So what do you need from us?
Search and rescue. The wife, Lucretia. I mean, look, Piedmont might like his pastors to be black, but they prefer their residents to be a shade paler.
You need some pretty white boys to knock on doors?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's a clean town, man. It's gonna be hard to shake out information.
Look, Latricia goes by her maiden name, McQueen. She's got a sister in Piedmont. She got a half-sister in Montclair. And that's all I got.
All right.
You might want to have Andre the Giant and Captain Psycho sit this one out, though. I'm just saying. Don't want to scare them fragile white folks.
All right, we'll dig in, let you know.
Thanks. Later.
Oh, the pantyhose preacher.
Yep.
It's a small world after all.
If we don't find that wife,
Marks is gonna keep digging till he finds the pastor.
A lot of eyes could have seen us go in that apartment, man. We went in big.
So, where do we start looking?
Sugar Woods. We're gonna ask the preacher.
So there you go. I wanted to play that clip because a whole bunch of stuff comes to fruition on there, and we learn a lot of stuff and kind of some pieces to the puzzle that have happened in past episodes here on season 7 have really come together. And so here we go. I'm going to break it down for you. So obviously we all know that black pastor that disappeared was in that scene where they broke in. They thought that they would find the owners of that blue Impala. They'd somehow be related to that gang or the slaying of the grim bastards and all that. But anyways, that's when they broke in, and there was that little escapade going on, that crazy scene. And now they're finding out, oh no, that was just kind of collateral damage, but it's actually somebody that is involved with August Marks. Basically, everybody thinks August Marks, Tyler, everybody just believes this black pastor is missing. However, we all know that he's dead because he was shot. So we know that he's not around, but everybody else thinks he's missing. They really want to find him. So apparently Tyler says that August is trying to close this huge real estate deal, and the only way he can close it is to have this particular pastor's signature. And Tyler's worried, and he talks about August being worried that there's a whole bunch of stuff going on the street and things are blowing up, and he really needs to find this guy. And apparently Tyler says his wife has power of attorney to sign, so they could simply find her because she's not MIA. She's not missing, technically. However, they don't know her current location. So Tyler puts it out to Jax's crew that he wants some friendly white faces to go knocking on some doors, so to speak, and see if they can find this gal for August so he can close this deal before things really, really blow up on the street. So, of course, Jax, they go to those shallow graves. If you remember back several episodes, to remind you that Jax, for some reason, wanted them buried in shallow graves. I don't think he knew, obviously, this was coming, but it was a good thing that they were in shallow graves because they had to go dig up that pastor's body. And they went and digged him up. They grabbed his cell phones out of his pocket, of course, out of the preacher's pocket. They're looking for information to figure out where his estranged wife may be so that she can sign those papers for August. They did find the phone. They took it back, cleaned it up, charged it, whatnot. Now, the funniest thing is they're all viewing it, and of course, Tiggy's a freak, and he's getting it all into it, and there's a freaky scene on there. And all of a sudden, guess what? Yep, that's right. The one and only Venus shows back up. She's actually recorded on that phone with the pastor. And if you guys don't remember Venus is the freaky transvestite. But let me tell you, I absolutely love Venus's character. And I forget the actor's name that does that. I know we've talked about in the past, but he does an absolutely good job with that character, and it's really developing that character. So anyways, Venus is on there. So they all know Venus, and they need to know where Venus is because obviously they want to talk about Venus, what she knows about this particular pastor that's, missing and dead, to see if Venus, she knows where to locate his estranged wife. Of course, Tiggy pipes right up and says, I know where she is. And they all look at him like he's a freak like he is. And he looks at him and says, we stayed in touch. So they've apparently been in touch because as we see later in this episode, we'll just cover that right now. So yeah, that was quite a scene where Venus is caring for Tiggy, and Tiggy is absolutely in love. Disgusting in love, but he's in love. And there's that little scene right there, where he's on the couch and they start making out, and I had to actually pause the show and go to the bathroom and vomit. There you go. Old Kurt Sutter. And, the funny thing is, they're both actors. You know what? I sometimes think I can act a little bit. Maybe I probably can't, but, everybody in their mind thinks I could act maybe a little bit. I couldn't. I don't know that I could go there because they are just two guys. And even though it's for TV, it's just something about that. So, all right, we'll move on from that. So Jax and crew let's see. Yeah, Jackson crew. No, we'll move on. Sorry. Sheriff Jerry shows up, and of course, she's the new female sheriff in town of Charming there. She shows up at Red Woody Porn Studio to talk with Nero. She found out that escort's dad, whose name is Haas, if you remember that guy that came in, and he got all up in his daughter's face trying to get some money, and Gemma hit him, and he smacked her. And then at the end of last episode, Jax beat him up, went to his house and all that. Well, she found out that that Haas guy is in the hospital with broken ribs and whatnot, and he was beat up pretty bad. And lo and behold, she lets Nero know he decided to drop assault charges. So obviously Jerry, she's thinking, okay, did Nero do it? Did Jax do it? Whatnot. They both have, somewhat of a motive to do that, to get him to drop charges. But she first talked to Nero. Now, before she leaves, she tells Nero, I need to see Chibs and Jax. She just wants to talk to him alone. After that, Nero confronts Gemma, and he's pretty pissed because he knows Jax probably did it, and she does. Gemma does admit that Jax beat the guy up. Nero's pissed at this point because he sees Jax, I believe, he in his mind, he's like, I've been there. He worked the streets and whatnot, and he knows when rage turns into the difference between rage and just getting revenge. And he really believes that Jax is, it's just for fun now, and it has nothing to do with revenge or Tara's death or anything like that. So, yeah. So we'll see how that plays out with Jax and Nero. I think they're spreading apart a little bit there, as they did last season a bit, with some honesty issues. Jax and crew meet with Tully's guys in the woods. I forget what they call this, Trails End or Woods End. I can't remember, but it's a specific place that people are aware of. So now they meet. They're supposed to meet with Tully's guys, the neo-Nazis, white supremacists in the woods, and they're supposed to do some sort of drug deal that Tully set up. Now, when they're all en route, they're on their motorcycles. Jax's crew, they rip by Sheriff Jerry and another black deputy whose name is Kane. And there's also, I think, Deputy Egley. She's the blonde. Well, anyways, they see him, and Sheriff Jerry wants them to follow and see where they're going. So Deputy Kane, the male, and the blonde Deputy Egley, they both tail them in a fully marked patrol car, which is not routine. But anyways, it is TV and it's Hollywood, so that's fun. But they tail him out to this woodsy area, and Jax meets up with Tully's guys, and all of a sudden, somebody spots the police, and they yell police. Of course, Tully's guys freak out and start shooting. They shoot Deputy Kane and then Deputy Egley. They kind of all point guns at each other, and it's a pretty tense moment. And then they decide they all need to get out of there. Jax is clearly pissed. So, you know what? Deep down, maybe Jax has a heart. I keep saying that. I know Lurch doesn't agree with me, but somewhere deep down, okay, he's got a line, and police are the line, especially I think since he kind of believes he has Sheriff Jerry on the hook, and they're bribing her, with money, and they believe that. And so I think he's just pissed, and he knows this is going to bring extreme heat on Charming, and it kind of was senseless in his mind. And the bad thing is for them, everybody's got to understand, is the crew, Jax's crew now doesn't know if the deputies called in who they were following. So, of course, if that's the case, and we know, because we're watchers, of course, from the outside, we know that they didn't probably call that in. I guess we don't know that for sure, but they never showed that scene. So, Jax is worried, hey, if they called that in, we're going to be the first ones to be interrogated and all that kind of stuff. Now, Jerry shows up to the scene, and Unser later to the scene where the deputies have been shot. And we all know that at the very end of this episode that the blonde deputy is still alive because Unser is sitting with her, and they kind of cart her off from the scene. So, you know what? It'll be very interesting to see if she makes it and is alive, because she may have, she will have the information that could absolutely hang the club. And who knows, how much they saw of Tully's crew, but there could be just some serious charges for Sons of Anarchy and the crew, because even though they didn't do it, they were there, they didn't report it. It makes them accessories to murder and all that kind of stuff. So, man, it's really going to be interesting. I think that knowing Kurt Sutter, and the way, thinking I know the way he writes, but he constantly, surprises me. But I really think that Deputy Egley, I really think that they're not going to make her well right away. I think that they're kind of going to drag that little scenario out because really she's the piece in the puzzle that can solve that whole thing. And I don't see it being solved within the next couple episodes. I really think that they're just going to keep hanging us out there and letting her kind of be on life support. And I think my belief is somewhere near the end of the season, or maybe at least 4 episodes, down the road, that when he needs her for the storyline, he's going to pull her out of that. I don't think she's going to die. I think he's going to pull her out of that coma, and she's going to be able to talk. And who knows at that point what Jax and Sons of Anarchy, their crew, will have over the sheriff's head. So maybe it'll be kind of a quid pro quo kind of deal. You owe me, I owe you. But I see some definite things working out there, as far as having things held over each other's heads. I really see that in the season, because obviously if she talked right now, within next episode or the following, well, that's really going to, I guess it could happen, but that's really going to make things turn, because obviously Jax and his crew are going to be arrested then. I really don't see how you can write around that. If you're a writer, they're going to have to be arrested and, for conspiracy to commit murder and accessory to murder and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's my little 2 cents. Also in this little conversation, Sheriff Jerry straight up asks, which was weird. She straight up asked Jax because that was originally what she wanted to talk to him, if he beat up Haas. And Jax doesn't even hesitate. He says, yes, he was a scumbag that beats up on women, and I was just making sure that he never happens again. So I was really surprised. And I think he did that because of the relationship that they're building, that he believes he's building. Again, Chibs gave her money to bribe her in episode 3 this season. And so I think he feels like he can tell her little bits of pieces of information there to kind of gain her trust, and he can kind of reel her in. So anyways, that kind of conversation ended very abruptly when all of a sudden a van pulls up, and an Asian guy, did see an Asian guy jump out of the van, and so did they. And he throws something through the window. They're at the clubhouse, of course, where she meets him here. And through that glass window of that ice cream shop / clubhouse comes in a big old green grenade. And Chibs is there, and Jax and Sheriff Jerry. All of a sudden, they all see the grenade. They dive out of the way, of course, Hollywood. And Chibs grabs Jerry and protects her, and man, he lands right on top of her. When all the smoke clears, he's kind of laying on her back, and so we see how that plays out here in a little bit. But anyways, that clubhouse is completely firebombed, or destroyed, I should say. The grenade caught it on fire and destroyed it. This is the second clubhouse they've been through, so we all know what happened to their last clubhouse too. So they're down a clubhouse, and now everybody believes, of course, Sheriff Jerry believes it. I think Chibs believes it, of course. I know Jax believes it, that this is definitely Lynn's crew that's involved with this grenade in their clubhouse. So I think if you already didn't think a war was on, I really think a war's on. And I must say that somebody must have sold them out. And I think they said that, if I remember right. Somebody sold Jax's crew out. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's only a couple people that knew about that. Of course, the Mayans know about that. I believe, because they know something, because they took him to those guns in that warehouse. I know that Tyler knows it. Tyler, the leader of the Purple there, because Jax frickin' took him a part of a brick of heroin when he was having him take care of Chester and his crew. So Tyler definitely knows. But the way they do, they always try to steer us to believe it's Tyler. But I really believe that Tyler didn't dime him out. That's just my prediction, guys. I don't think Tyler did it because it's too easy. It's too easy. I believe somebody else that maybe Tyler talked to, or maybe the Mayans. Or here's what I'm really, really thinking, and I may be stretching here, guys. Somehow I believe that Jury did it, and he's the president of the Indian Hills chapter. Remember, he knows that Jax and his crew killed that guy, and we believe we've made some prediction whether it's his son or his lover. But I really think Jury somehow, because he's one of the other guys that knows intricate details that Jax's crew took down the Chinese. And if he has any kind of connections to the Chinese, or he wants to become a rat for him, he could do some serious damage. So there you go. I'm throwing it out there. I'm probably wrong, but I really think Jury somehow got a hold of the Chinese and let him know that it was in fact Jax's crew. Maybe even gave him some sort of evidence. Oh, and you know what? Now that I think about it further, as we're sitting right here, here you go. Because if you remember, Jax split half and half. When they took down the Chinese and took all those guns, they also took, I forget if it was 2 or 4 kilos of heroin, and Jax split those profits with Jury because they were running some to Nevada, I think, or down to down to Mexico or something. But so there you go. And so that makes me believe that Jury, obviously, he definitely has a bone to pick. He definitely has motive, and he has evidence, because the Chinese know how their kilos are marked, their heroin, and so they definitely know that would be their heroin. So who knows? Who knows? Hopefully I'm right there, and hopefully that gives you a little insight about what may be coming around the corner. So the guys try to call over, of course, immediately and check on the guns in the warehouse. Now they've got another member, I think he's from a different chapter of Sam Crow, not Sam Crow, but the Sons of Anarchy, and they've got him watching those guns in Borowski's warehouse. Well, they immediately think, oh crap, if they bombed here, if it is the Chinese, did they get the guns? Did they find out where the guns are? Because they probably did if somebody ratted. They call over there to check on the guns in the warehouse, and of course, we see a camera shot of a dead Sons of Anarchy member from another chapter, and his phone's on the floor, and it just rings, and nobody will answer. So obviously, the Chinese found out where the guns were. They went over there. They killed the guy. I'm sure that they took all their guns back. So at this point, it's clear Jax knows, and the crew, that this is definitely the workings of the Chinese and that they've been ratted out somehow. All right, so the Chinese guys show up to Diosa. And if I remember right, this head Chinese guy that shows up to Diosa with 4 other guys, and Colette, if you remember, that's Jax's little lover there on the side, his little love and touch, if you want, so to speak, that he's had relations with in the past season, the blonde gal. But anyway, she's there. And that Chinese guy that shows up, he's the one that sat down and met with Jax at the beginning of episode 3. And me and Matt and Oscar talked about that. And I even played a sound clip. Well, he got word, obviously, so they go in to Diosa. They sit down, and that main guy, that main Triad guy, he makes a call to Nero, and who is with Jax at the blown up clubhouse. So Nero shows up. He talks to Jax, like, what the heck's going on? And all of a sudden, the phone rings, and this is what's happening back at Diosa. And all this Triad leader says is, quote, Mr. Lin appreciates all your efforts in getting everyone together. What happens at Diosa will impact you, but it's meant for Sons of Anarchy. And then he hangs up the phone. So it's weird that he called him. He called Nero because apparently that's what criminals do. I don't know. He calls him and tells him, hey, it's going to hurt. It's going to sting. It's not meant for you. We appreciate your hard work, but we don't care. So he wanted to tell him that for a reason, either to try to keep him on the take a little bit. And what I mean by that, they could use Nero later because Nero doesn't like all this killing and death and all this. And, maybe he'll still try to make it work with Lin or somehow be an ally to Lin. So Lin's trying, in my mind, because of that call, because it really wasn't necessary. Why couldn't those guys just go there and just slaughter everybody in Diosa, which they did. We all saw that scene. Everybody gets killed in Diosa, all the females. Colette gets killed. They just slaughter everybody in there. Why is it necessary, in my mind, why is it necessary to call and make that specific speech to Nero before they did what they did? I really think that's going to play out somehow. And he wanted Nero to know that Lin did it. It was clear. He told him, Mr. Lin appreciates all your efforts, but this is going to sting what we do at Diosa. So that's, I don't have a lot on that. As far as prediction, I've thought it through my mind after watching the episode, and I just, I'm not sure how that's going to play out, except that he wanted Nero to know it was Lin. And that's a matter of fact. And I think that Nero will still have some sort of talkings with Lin as we go through season 7 here. So Of course, as I stated, everybody's slaughtered in Diosa. Coletta's dead too. Very well may have been the last female besides Jax's mother that he cares about. He was obviously not happy. I wasn't sure how he was going to take that at this point, but I know that the season has to go on, and it's not going to go on with Jax just backing down and go, you know what? This life sucks, and I don't like all this violence, and I'm just going to walk away. I still hold my prediction that he'll walk away at the end of the season. I'm definitely going to be wrong, but I got to stick to my guns. So I think he's going to, I think he's going to step it up even more, if you can believe that. And the reason I say that is in the clips for the next, it would be episode 5, the upcoming scenes, it shows Jax, out of control. It shows a lot of guns and different shooting and all kinds of stuff. So definitely, if it can get any more violent in Kurt Sutter's mind, it's going to get more violent. Jax is not going to back down. It's full on war with the Chinese now. And it doesn't have anything to do, well, I guess it does have to do with revenge now because they blew up the clubhouse and killed everybody at Diosa. So now it's nothing about business. It really hasn't been about business. It's been about Jack's little plan to turn everybody against each other and cause chaos, which he's done a good job at, but it has turned on him, and he's been called out. Definitely everybody's aware he took down the Chinese. I don't think he's going to be able to do as much manipulation as he's done in past season 7 episodes, but yeah, he's going to have an all-out battle with the Chinese. I think that's obviously going to be really the focus of the next couple episodes is him going out. I think he's going to get into it with Marks. I don't know how much longer Marks is going to be around because he does not like Marks. We'll see if Tyler turned on Jax, because Tyler, may take care of Marks too. But yeah, it's going to get even uglier and more violent. So put the kids to bed. Make sure they aren't watching. Of course, we'll finish it up here, guys, with the APB is out on Juice, guys, the all points bulletin. It's good for the whole Northwestern United States, of course. And Gemma is getting tired of Juice not going and just busting out of town and staying at her dad's house like she told him to. Of course, we know poor Juicy breaks up. He tells her, I don't want to be alone. The voices start talking, and then I try to, think about what I'm thinking, and he cries, and Wendy, consults him, and, don't cry, little Juicy, don't cry. It's going to be okay. And Gemma realizes, okay, those little voices, yeah, happening to me too. And she doesn't tell anybody, but you can see she sits down and goes, what he just explained is exactly what is happening to him. And earlier, of course, I talked about Gemma, talking to herself, or Juice talking to himself to the shower. So that's what's going on. Those two are just going to go crazy. I'm telling you, my prediction, and I said it on the season opener, I really believe on our season opener episode, I really believe Gemma's going to commit suicide at the very end of this whole thing. And I won't be surprised if Juice, I've expected him to do it already. I really believe that he's just going to go crazy at some point and kill himself. Of course, Gemma is taking him out of town. They are getting him the hell out of Dodge because the APB's out. So Gemma is going to personally drive him out of town to her father's house. And we're going to see in upcoming, that's going to be intricate in episode 5 and 6, which will be coming up, guys. So there you go. Of course, we saw the closing scenes, and that was Chibs. He decides to drive Sheriff Jerry home, who's pretty confused and shook up after being bombed at the clubhouse. She's still there. And Chibs says, I'll drive you home. And she kind of chuckles. And then he says, no, really, I want to. So she allows him. Here's a nice little love scene. So on the way home, driving him home, of course, he drives her patrol car. Yeah, that happens every day. A outlaw motorcycle gang member drives a police car. But anyways, he drives her home. And how about this? Reaches over. She's in the front passenger seat. He's driving. He reaches over and he gives her the little, I'm just going to put my hand on your hand. And she looks and she's not sure what to do. And of course, she reaches back a little bit and kind of massages his hand a little bit. Oh my goodness, 2 little lovebirds right there. That's going to be really interesting. I can't wait for the next episode, episode 5 coming up, because we're going to find out when they get home exactly what happens with that little scenario. All right, guys. I hope it's been informational. I hope it's been entertaining. I hope it's been infotaining. All right, guys. Again, we are going to be putting out one podcast episode for every 2 episodes of Sons of Anarchy television series. So make sure you keep checking back and tune in and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's take it on out of here. Call to action, guys. Don't forget to head out. If you like this stuff, guys, coming to you free and all that. And we just really appreciate everybody that signed up over on our Patreon page. If you want to get involved and you want to pledge a certain amount per piece of content we put out, that's right, for less than a coffee a month, guys, you can help us out. Head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. No risk to you guys. You can set a cap, all that good stuff. All right, the Lab podcast phone number is 509-731-3548. You can leave us a voicemail. Tell us your predictions. Do what Larry Beans Baxter did. Step up to the plate, guys. Get involved. We want to hear your predictions. We want to know what you're thinking. If we screwed up on something or you think we're wrong, tell us. We're going to play it. This is a community, guys. We want the community to get involved. We want to hear from everybody, all you freaky deaky Sons of Anarchy fans. We love y'all. We're freaky deaky fans ourselves. So don't forget, you can leave a voicemail right from your computer. Everybody has a built-in microphone, guys. If you didn't know it, lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail. That's right. You can leave it right there. All right. Get into that Law-Abiding Biker email club. It is free, guys. We send out updates when we send out new free maintenance videos and all that kind of stuff. lawabidingbiker.com/email club. All right, guys, if you want to email us, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. We appreciate all you guys, and hope you're really enjoying the Sons of Anarchy season. Don't forget, take a minute, guys, please. It helps us in iTunes, the rankings and stuff. Helps us get noticed. lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes. If you're listening on Android, it's Stitcher Radio or something like that. lawabidingbiker.com/Stitcher Radio. All right, guys, we really appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in, I should say. All right, all you freaking bikeaholics, what are you waiting for? Get out there and freaking ride already, huh? Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. Peace out.
Thank you for listening to the Law Abiding Biker podcast. Please listen to our next episode.